All right, let's wind back the clock and take us back to 18-year-old James, because in this video, I'm gonna be giving you the exact advice I would give 18-year-old James if I had to start from scratch and give him the exact roadmap to get to 10 grand per month. And this isn't gonna be a step one, do this, step two, do this. It's more so the way that I would approach it and the way that I wish most people approached it that would get them where they're looking to go a hell of a lot sooner. Because the bottom line is, whether you know it or not, getting to 10 grand per month online is not the hardest thing in the world to do. If you aren't there yet, of course, it seems insurmountable. But as soon as you start moving and shaking and following systems that can get you there, you start to realize how doable it is, and you'll be surprised how many people are already doing it in your city, in your suburb alone. So in this video, I'm gonna go through exactly what I would do at 18 to get to 10 grand a month as a complete beginner. Number one is pick a business model that makes sense for where you are. You see, there's a lot of business models out there. Like, for example, you hear about day trading, right? In crypto, these huge bull rush, and you can put all this money into this shit coin and it will go 1000x and you'll get a land. Like, it's stupid, right? You need to pick a business model that makes sense for where you are right now. Chances are, if you're watching this, you're in a position right now where you're quite cash poor and you're quite time poor. It's usually where people are at. They're working a job, so they have a lot of time dedicated to somebody else, and they're quite cash poor. They don't have 50 grand in the savings that they can gamble on different coins online. That's the reason why stuff like that doesn't work. If you want to get really good at trading and do really well, you have to have a lot of money to gamble and a lot of time to analyze data. So if that's not the position that you're in right now, wouldn't touch something like that, because it's not the right model. When I started out when I was 18, I was working a lot, I was going into studying, and I had like 500 bucks to my name. And so I need to pick a model that allows me to make money without a lot of cash flow and capital up front, and without a million hours a week that I can dedicate to it. And it goes the same to people who are parents, who work full-time jobs. A lot of the times, the ones that I speak to that have actually become incredible success stories at Ecom Boss, they're once again, very, very time poor, and with things like mortgages and cost of living, they don't have 30, 50 grand set aside they can put into a business. It's the same thing. That's one of the reasons why we teach something called the Ecom Boss system, which is an organic method of dropshipping. It's a way to sell products online that you never have to see, touch, or ship, and you never have to pay for advertising, and it only takes an hour per day to do. That's why we teach that system. It's because it works for people who are time poor and typically cash poor as well. You could also look into other things. One thing when I was younger that I started out in was copywriting. Copywriting is the words that sell. So if you look at, say, marketing emails or landing pages or sales pages for different products, one of the first skills I learned was how to write that stuff. I didn't need to spend any money because it was just me in a Google Doc, and it was something that I could spend an hour or so writing per day and get paid for it. It's a great skill that later on I applied to e-commerce on our sales pages and our product pages and our ads, which has been so, so much fun. But the bottom line is, you need to pick a business model that makes sense for where you are right now. If you sort of fit that description, don't look into stuff like day trading, crypto trading, stuff like remote sales is one thing that people talk about. Remote sales is great if you have all the time in the world, but if you're watching this and you have a life, it's very, very hard to sit on calls for 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, closing deals. Just doesn't work that way. The second thing is imperfect action. You want to take imperfect action. There are so many people when they're starting something new, and I fall victim to it, you've probably fallen victim to it at some point as well. Whenever we want to do something new, we act as if when we start, we have to be perfect at it immediately. So we have to get all of our ducks in a row, read 18,000 articles, spend 40 hours watching YouTube videos every single day, and then maybe we might be good enough to do it. The bottom line is that the only way that you get good at something is by failing. You may not remember it, but when you first learned how to walk, you fell over a bunch. When you first learned how to ride a bike, you probably remember a bit of that. You fell over and grazed your knees and your elbows a bunch. You wouldn't have been able to learn how to walk and ride a bike if you had been sitting there reading manuals or watching YouTube videos or reading Wikipedia articles. It doesn't work that way. You've got to go out there and take imperfect action. Expect to be hit in the face, expect to fall on your face, expect to scrape your knee as you go. It's all a part of the process. And the biggest problem that I see with people who want to get started online is to spend so much time preparing themselves that they never actually take the leap. Versus some of my students who come in, they're like, yep, I'm just gonna give it a go, boom, 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 and they're making sales in the first 7 to 14 days. The reason why is because they just went in and took imperfect action. Now, there is something to be said about making sure that while you're taking imperfect action, you're following a good system. You could take imperfect action and follow a business plan that doesn't make any sense. Sure, you're going somewhere, but you're not gonna be going towards success. Or you could take imperfect action and follow a proven roadmap, whether it's with us or whether it's with somebody else, and do it properly and quickly. You're gonna scrape your knee regardless, but as long as you're following a proven plan, you're gonna get where you wanna go a lot faster. And even if you have a proven plan, if you take forever to implement it because you don't wanna mess it up, you're still not gonna get anywhere. Take imperfect action. Expect yourself to fall on your face a couple of times, but that is how you learn. And number 3, and I want to preface this by saying this isn't a pitch by any means for what it is that I do, but this is genuinely really, really crucial. Shut out the noise. Shut up the self-development gurus, shut out the YouTube gurus. Don't go out there and buy courses. A lot of that stuff is complete rubbish. If you're going to be getting help, get help from a one-on-one involved coach that is going to work with you each and every single day, that actually gives a shit about who you are and your results. You would be surprised the amount of horror stories that I hear every single day from people who trust a YouTuber, they trust an Instagram profile, they buy a course, they buy an ebook with no coaching, no support, nothing along those lines, and they get confused as to why they aren't getting results. If you don't have a coach that is actually genuinely working with you, you're not gonna get very far. And I was very, very lucky that one of my first coaches, his name was Sean. And I worked with Sean when I was 18 years old, and it was probably one of the biggest financial stretches of my life. Put every single dollar into working with him, but you wanna know why I still felt safe? The reason why I still felt safe was because I knew that I was working with him. I had calls with him. I had support from him. He was holding me accountable. And as I went through the program, he was checking in. James, have you done what you need to do today? I would say no. I made an excuse. He would smack me around for it. He would make sure I did the work required. He would make sure that I felt safe. If I had to ask questions, I wasn't stupid. He would answer the questions for me. He would give me custom guidance based on where I was and what kind of learning style that I had. And that goes a hell of a lot further than you might think. Working with a coach that takes the time to get to know you and works with you and cares about you and spends time with you online, even in person, that is the real key indicator of a coach that can actually help you. And it's not a sales pitch, but Ecom Boss, it's exactly what we do. If you've been to my Instagram profile and you've seen the thousands of student results that I post on there, the bottom line is that didn't get there from a course. That didn't get there from these YouTube videos. As much as I love filming these YouTube videos, there's only so much that I can do on one side of a video, just the bottom line. The reason why the students do so well is because they have access to us daily, one-on-one, group coaching calls, community support, even in-person events. We fly all around the country to spend time with our students, and that's because we care. And as a result of us caring, and as a result of the work that we put in, they get the results back out. If we just sold a course, the results wouldn't be where they are. And it's not because the information is bad, it's because when you're starting out, you need a coach that genuinely. So with that being said, the best advice, if we summarize it all, is just go for it. Take the imperfect action, put in the work, follow a smart business plan, work with a good coach, but the bottom line is just do it. Don't try to rationalize it in your head. Don't try to let the doubts or the fears get in the way. Put your head down and just do the work. Because I promise you, nothing is going to get you to that 10 grand a month goal faster than you just saying, I'm going to get there, and doing the work that's required. Now, if you've got some questions, you want to chat about it more, feel free to comment below or message me on Instagram. I'm always available. I'm always here to chat. I would love to hear what you think. And you're amazing. If you're still watching this video, I know you have what it takes. Put in the work, implement proven systems, and I'll see you on the other side.